welcome back to DoodleFigs, the series where I buy figures of characters I already own for the sake of a video. Today, we're taking a look back to 2008, and the movie that started a cinematic universe so big, even I stopped caring about it after Endgame. Except for Spider-Man stuff. Today, we are taking a look at the armor that is still my personal favorite, the Mark III. We've got figures here from across the years, so let's get a good look at all of them. Our lineup consists of the original 2008 movie figure, the Marvel Legends Infinity Saga release, ZD Toys Iron Man Mark III, and Fondjoy Iron Man Mark III model kit. I think nothing makes more sense than to start with the original figure, the 2008 movie toy line version. Looking at 2008's painting and sculpting, and well, it looks like that. That looks really bad. For context, I actually bought all of these figures, except for the Marvel Legends, brand new for this review. So this guy was brand new in box. It cost me $15, and I have done nothing to this guy. And even so, he looks like he's wanting to fall apart. He's weirdly skinny and spindly, and actually kind of short. I actually showed these figures to my friends, and they all described him as looking like a bootleg, and called him Iron Deficiency Man. The only thing I can actually say that is good on the figure is the shade of red. It's a very nice shade, and I think it's pretty accurate to the movie. And that's the only props I can give on the paint, as the eyes are printed wrong, terribly wrong, and the gold has a lot of slop on the back. Another thing I'd like to mention too is the shoulder pads. No, not only are they too big, but they're so fiddly that I actually want to take them off. I feel like I'm 10 again trying to fix my figure. I lied! There's actually one more figure in this lineup. My original childhood copy, 2008. This guy is notable because he was actually buried in my art for like 6 years. He's the exact same as the last guy, except one winter when I was young, I was playing in the snow and then I didn't see him for like 6 years. He's loose as hell, beat up to an exaggerated point as I might have scraped him against concrete a lot in his various battles, missing all the accessories including the shoulder pads, and has been attempted to be painted to look more battle damaged by an older and more sorry me. And you know what? I think he looks better than the brand new counterpart. I might have slight bias considering that he is my childhood figure and I painted him, but I really think this guy looks better. Because he's so beat up and broken, and my attempt to make him look more battle damaged, his spindly and short stature almost doesn't matter. That can be explained as, there's no one in the suit, and it's damaged. In my head, this is what the suit looks like after the first movie. Also, without the shoulder pads, the figure's proportions look way better, and it doesn't look like he's wearing those 80s business shoulder pads. Next to be analyzed by my ever so critical eyes, going by chronological order, would be 2020 ZD Toys Iron Man. Already, we can see a great improvement in paint and sculpting, and honestly, this figure is beautiful. The gloss throughout the figure and the amazing attention to detail is honestly extremely impressive. This figure sent me back around 15 bucks, however I did take advantage of a deal, so normally it would set you back around 20 to 25 bucks depending on where you buy him, even going up to 30. Talking about how I got this guy, I also want to talk about his packaging. I normally don't care about packaging, and I never really talk about it because I'm an out-of-box collector, so many times I get figures out of box and save money doing so. But I just have to say that ZD Toys' box is incredibly nice. It has this cool visual of you opening the armor to get your figure, and everything is packed really neatly. It's also reusable via magnets in the flaps. Premium stuff. Going back to the figure, one thing I can say I don't like is how the eyes and arc reactor are painted. They're left looking like the armor is just dead. And while that might look cool in a display of the Hall of Armor, in photography it leaves something to be desired. It's the last problem we'll come back to after we look at 2021's Marvel Legends Infinity Saga Iron Man. First things first, the painting and sculpting are pretty different from the ZD Toys. I won't say it's worse, although many of you would probably disagree, but I have a reason for why I don't see the less glossy and lighter red of the Marvel Legends as a problem. While not completely accurate to the movie in shade, and I will concede that I would have liked it if the shade was slightly darker, this red on the Marvel Legends makes him fit with all your other Marvel Legends Iron Man that could be in your collection. For example, here he is with the 80 Years Iron Man, review sometime soon, and as you can see, the reds really work together. And while I think 80 Years might be like half a shade darker, I really think they can work together in a collection, bridging the gap between movie and comic book collections, especially if you use the Mark III as a stand-in for your Extremis armor. Like this guy. Or this guy. Either way, Marvel Legends' paint and sculpting might be subjective, but what isn't is his scale. You see, the last problem with ZD Toys is just how tall he is. This figure is actually 1/10 scale, meaning he's actually more in size to Marvel Select and DC Multiverse. You can see this if I stand these guys next to Big Time 2019, for example. However, many of you could probably look past this, as this is supposed to be a big, bulky armor. But for me, I think Marvel Legends is just the right amount of bulk. Meanwhile, someone with way too little bulk is our last figure on the block, 2024's Fondjoy Iron Man Mark III model kit. If you didn't catch that last part, this guy's a model kit, which means you have to build him yourself. And if you don't have any model kit cutters, that might be an issue. Luckily, I have experience with building model kits, but even then, it was still a bit of a challenge. There are some very interesting tolerance issues that left me hoping and begging that I don't break this figure. Especially those back flaps that you have to clip on like Lego pieces, but unlike Lego pieces, they felt like they were going to break as I clipped them on. Actually, the ZD Toys also has these flaps, and it's the only other figure with them. Going back to the model kit, the paint and the look of the figure is really well done. Every different part that's a different color is an individual part that you have to build, but even then, it leaves you with a very nice looking figure. But maybe not as nice feeling. You see, having this guy in hand is very different from looking through a video. I feel like I could crush the model kit in my hands if I just squeeze hard enough. That could be considered par for the course for a model kit, to be fair, as long as the joints aren't super loose or the pieces aren't falling apart, and then maybe you can just deal with it. Keep a note that this guy is probably the most fragile guy on this list, as well as being the shortest. What he is most is definitely the guy with the most accessories. Each figure here came with their own accessories, and to try to be brief, I'm going to go over them all at once. One of the weirdest accessories is 2008 with the clip-on launcher to destroy his enemies. Meanwhile, everyone else came with alternative hands. They all come with fists and sculpted upward repulsor hands. Marvel Legends coming with painted repulsors, and the model kit coming with ports for effect parts. And ZD Toys coming with both. The model kit and ZD Toys also come with open hands sculpted downwards to be more calm open hands. They also both come with 4 blast effect parts. ZD Toys comes with 4 identical effects, meanwhile the model kit comes with short and thick and skinny and long effects, with the skinny effects coming in with shorter options. They also come with their own flight stands, with ZD Toys being spring-loaded to grip better. However, the model kit and Marvel Legends have arm rockets, Marvel Legends only attaching to his right arm, and the model kit having 2 attaching to both arms. Marvel Legends also has this other piece that seems to be the shield from the final battle of the first movie. And lastly, Marvel Legends has this alternate open helmet head. It's interesting to note that while a lot of these figures have similar accessories, it's also interesting to see all the accessories unique to each figure. Next up, articulation. ZD Toys seems to be in a disc hinge and a ball joint. The model kit has 2 ball joints in his lower and upper neck. Legends has a dumbbell joint, and both 2008s have a pure ball joint. All of them look up this far, with all but the model kit looking pretty far up, and they can look down this far with both the model kit and 2008 lacking. At least they can all spin their head around. Except for the model kit. Man, you think with like a double ball joint you'd have more range. He can look left and right far enough. But ZD Toys have a head tilt, with Marvel Legends having the best tilt. They can move their arms this far out, with my custom moving out the furthest due to the lack of the shoulder pad, followed by Legends and ZD Toys. ZD Toys can also extend his shoulder to give some slight butterfly movement. They all have bicep swivel and double jointed elbows, with 2008 being deeper, followed by Legends. And weirdly, only 2008 and Legends have swivel hinge wrists. Legends only having the longest fist hands, with 2008 having the most range, Legends having almost no range. And everyone else has a ball joint which acts like a swivel. Everyone has a diaphragm joint, with ZD Toys being able to extend that allows that full swivel, except for the model kit. Okay, I was wrong. ZD Toys cannot do a full diaphragm swivel. I mean, neither can the model kit, but it at least has a waist swivel. Forgive me. Only ZD Toys and Legends get any meaningful hunch forward, with Legends having the best, meanwhile only Legends in 2008 have an arcing back, which are pretty equal. Legends and ZD Toys have a tilt, but the model kit has a waist ball joint that does allow for tilt. 2008 has swivel balls like the 2011 Big Time, check out that review, while everyone else has drop down ball joint hips. They all get fairly comparable kick forward, with the model kit possibly having a slight edge. They all kick back this far with the model kit going further back, and they can all split this far with 2008 doing a perfect split. They all have upper leg swivels, with the model kits being limited. They all have double jointed knees, with Legends and the model kit bending all the way. And lastly, they can all hinge their feet up and down, with all but 2008 having an ankle pivot, 2008 instead having a swivel, and the model kit having an extra, although ultimately useless as it's too slight to be even noticeable, toe hinge. It's honestly very interesting seeing how different each of these figures are to each other. Even though they're all supposed to be the same armor from the same movie, they all seem to have different colors, proportions, and accessories. Starting from what I think is the obvious worst figure, the original 2008 is just outdated. Its weird proportions and older style of articulation is very clunky, not even mentioning the bad quality control on my copy. If you buy one now, unless it's in box, it's almost impossible to get with the shoulder pads, which is what you might want. My childhood copy might be beat up to all hell, and might be missing all of its accessories, but I honestly think it makes that a better figure. My custom fills a niche of a battle-damaged Mark III that genuinely earns it a spot in the collection. I'm putting 2008 in F, with my custom getting a genuine C. You might think it deserves the funny tier. I genuinely think it's better than the newer copy. Next up is the model kit. I really wanted to like this model kit more than I do, and it's honestly very nice looking, comparable to the ZD Toys version. But looks can only get you so far. This figure is so loose in some joints and scarily tight in others, not to mention it feels like it's made of eggshells that really bring down the figure for me. However, I can't deny that the amount of accessories it comes with really do help the figure. Overall, the figure gets a C, a bit higher than my custom. If you're on a budget, this might be the best pick. Just keep in mind its fragility and the smaller size. Next up is Marvel Legends and ZD Toys. They're both great in their own way. ZD Toys is easily the better looking figure, but Legends is the most articulate. While ZD Toys might have more accessories, Legends scales better with other Legends and the 1/12 scale figures, and has a passable amount of accessories, with that open helmet being pretty cool. I'd say that if you're just starting out, don't want to get in too deep, or are a DC Multiverse collector trying to get into Marvel, but unhappy with the scale discrepancy, or a Marvel Legends collector who is okay with Iron Man being tall, ZD Toys might be for you. However, if you have more Legends and want this Iron Man to fit in your current collection, or are more of a fan of articulation over a better paint job, then Legends is for you. As for me, while I do like the Legends version, and it's probably going to stay my Mark III in my collection, I honestly just can't deny the quality of ZD Toys, especially for the price. And if those dead eyes and reactor bug you like they do me, you can always spend a tiny bit more and get the LED version with the light up eyes and reactor. Legends gets a B, while ZD Toys gets an A.
Thank you for watching this video. This is still a quite small channel, so don't forget to leave a comment. I read every single one. And of course, don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe. You should subscribe. I'm not asking.